Yeah, we are all live. So, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Speed Force Racing's Reserve Championship race. This time for round 3 in France for the French Grand Prix. I am joined today with Sonic Hawk.
Hey Morris.
So, interesting race here around France, which if you watch the next live streams next week for Speed Force Racing, we are also at France for the other 4 championships from GP4 up to GP1 as well. So we have 5 races in a row around this French circuit. And it'll be very interesting to see how these drivers cope with the track limits, because the track limits around France, if you've driven around it before, you will know there's a lot of runoff area to use. However, with the corner cutting penalties on strict, as they should be, that could inhibit some of the drivers a little bit throughout the proceedings today.
Yeah, I think especially the turn 2 is a easy turn to get a track limits penalty, I feel.
Yeah, I think that first sector as well is one of those sectors where you can gain a lot of time, but you have to be careful not to invalidate your time. And if you try and almost go too cautiously, you could also lose a lot of time to drivers around you. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see. But also, with the Reserve Championship being in France today, it will give good indication to all the other drivers in the other championships about what strategies they could be using in the next week coming up for SFR. So if other drivers are watching, be careful for the strategies here, because as I learned in Canada in my own race in GP2 in SFR, strategy plays a big difference to winning races.
I think France is one of those tracks where there are, I think, 3 strategies that drivers would usually go for. I think you got the soft medium, you got medium hards, and you got soft to hard. Some of the brave ones would try soft to hards and expect a safety car somewhere in between. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what strategies the drivers would pick up tonight.
Yeah. And I think SFR Mansell will be the first person to set a time, my teammate in GP2, who has just come off the back of a win in Canada. So he'll have a little bit of confidence in that Haas car.
Yeah, I think ever since yourself and Mansell have stepped up to GP2, I think the Haas is looking pretty strong in GP2, to be honest. So good job, guys.
Yeah, we've been trying to put in consistent races. I didn't do very well in Canada, which was my own fault, but Mansell brought home the points. But in terms of the Reserve Championship, I'm just going to read out the standings as they go. We've got Nazaros currently leading the way in P1. Then we have Trap Formula down in P2 with Achilles and Conan's Poda in 4th, 3 and 4. Nolsey in 5, Limitless 6, Mauser in 7, Dobbo in 8th, Jinenji in 10, well, Jinenji in 9, sorry, Scotter in 10, and Webber in 11th. All the other drivers making up the grid today are full-time drivers in our other leagues, so they're just making up the grid for today. So the drivers that I've read out are the ones to watch out for. As we have Mansell.
Just to point out that Mr. Muffin is making his debut in the Reserve Championship. So
awesome.
He's just the one guy who's making a debut tonight.
As we have Mansell, our first driver, out on a lap, I believe. One driver out on mediums, which is Smoke. Looks like everybody else is going for the soft route.
I think it's also possible that drivers would do a banker lap on the soft, maybe not go the high fuel and the hot lap, maybe just go rich and get a banker lap, because I think most drivers know that mediums to hard is the best strategy around here.
I think you're correct, because watching Mansell, he closed his DRS flap halfway down the long straight.
Yeah, so I think that
possibly he's going for the banker lap, as you said, and then may go on to the mediums. We have a Mercedes who was spun round. I believe it was Bossy Gaming who was spun round. He's going to go back on board with Mansell. Let's see if he's actually setting a lap or whether he's just going to come in and test the limits. We don't know. Let's see. I think, yeah, he's still going.
Yeah, he's going for a lap.
Let's see what time it is throughout the last corner. Keeps it nice and clean. Again, doesn't open his DRS, so it's a... He slowed down massively there. Wow, he almost came to a stop. There we go. Mr. Muffin sets the fastest time so far with a 31.2. I believe that's the time we're going to be looking for. from everyone so far. Jinenji actually gets pole with a 1 minute 30.1. Good lap from Jinenji. Let's see who else is coming around. Limitless has invalid his time. Smoke is set at 1 minute 30.1 on the medium tyre. Wow, good lap from Smoke.
Yeah, I think that's a cracking lap from Smoke. Smoke is a full-time driver in GT4. So,
yeah, Achilles, great time, 28.8 in the Red Bull. I think we have a racing points crossing the line now. Is it Senna? No, Senna's just starting his lap. There we go. We'll ride on board with Senna with his lap. Let's see what kind of time Senna can put in the racing point. New car for him. He's normally in the Renault.
I think it's one of those things where the full-time drivers are not allowed to pick the cars that they prefer. So,
still riding on board with Senna. He is not closing his DRS flaps. I think he's going for it. Be careful not cutting these corners.
Yeah, so I remember talking to Senna last season when we were doing France, and he had this one of those setups that could actually make soft to hard work. So we might see him going for a push lap on softs and not a banker lap.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see which drivers go for the 1 or the 2 stop, because overtaking around France is definitely possible with the massive straight. But in general, it's quite a good track to overtake round, so it can help the guys out on the 2 stop. But obviously the advantage of the 1 stop is you do not lose that extra pit stop in time if you can make the tyres last. As we see Senna coming to complete his first lap, as again he does close the DRS flap. And he does back off. Is this going to be a common theme? Because that would have been very quick. He still did a 31 flat.
Yeah, I think he could have gone somewhere around maybe
Mansell's retired.
or low 28.
What's happened with Mansell? I believe he's actually retired in the pit lane. He has retired in the pit lane.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think maybe he's trying to start at the back and get some race pace on.
Yep. Not a bad shout from Mansell. As obviously he's not actually part of the reserve championships. He's getting some practice in for the actual championship for himself during the week. Who else is on a lap? Let's have a look. Don't think. And we have Cones on a lap. I believe he's coming through to the last corner now. Rise the last curb. And onto the pit straight. He sets a 29 flat. Good time. Puts him up to P2. I believe Bossy Gaming is starting a lap as well. As Calvin with a 28.8. Good lap time from Calvin. Calvin in the Renault, not in the Haas as he usually is.
That's weird, isn't it?
I think that's one thing
I've seen him pick other cars, but
not the Renault.
I've never seen him in a Renault, yeah.
No, if he's a Haas driver, I would have picked the Alfa Romeo if I was him, but maybe he wants a drive in a completely different sounding car. They are all on equal performance, but it does feel a little bit different when you do ride on board with another car than usual.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not just the car or the engine sounding, but I think even the handling dynamics, I think they're slightly different. I mean, there's a subtle difference with the way the cars handle. I mean, I myself, I usually drive a Ferrari and a Mercedes in my other league, but there was this one time where I did a race on Alpha Tauri and it felt so different, especially the handling.
We're going to still run more Bossy Games. He comes up to the last corner now. Opens the DRS flap to see what time Bossy Gaming can put in. 1 minute 31.4. Good lap from Bossy Gaming. Who else have we got on the lap? We have Smoke, I believe. Just started his lap. He's getting caught up right behind Bossy Gaming, actually, who hopefully gets out of his way. Yeah, he does. Smoke is currently 3/10 up on his own personal best in the first sector. So it looks like he is pushing in that Alfa Romeo.
I think we'll see if he has improved in his second sector or not. Right about now.
Yeah, he's nearly 9/10 up, purple second sector as well.
Yeah.
This could be quick.
Put him somewhere. I think that should put him somewhere around P2, P1 if I'm not wrong. P2
Yeah,
definitely.
interesting. Calvin's actually gone out on the medium tyres. If he can go quicker than the time he's already put out, that would be impressive if he goes quicker than the time he puts out on mediums. That'd be very impressive from Calvin. As Smoke is coming up to the line now, he's got a Mercedes in front, which gives him a little bit of a tow across the straight, which will help him out. What time is it going to be from Smoke? The 28.8 is pole position for Smoke currently. Good lap from him. Oh no, I say that. Aglias goes faster, 2/10 faster than the Red Bull. Commentator's curse. I'm very sorry, guys.
I think Eccles has got more pace in him. I think he can go 2 or 3 tenths faster. So it will be interesting what his final run, where his final run stands out.
Yeah, as Martin's coming into the pits. As we have Scotter Clem going through the final corner now. As he comes across the line to complete his first lap as well. And he does a 1:32.1. We've got Liverpool FC Pro, I believe, is on a lap. No, he's invalidated. So I believe, for the time being, it's most drivers on the lap. So we have Onyx coming across the line in the Red Bull, and he does a 29.7. Good lap from Onyx. Puts him up into P6. Who else is on a lap? We got Mr. Muffin about to start his second lap here. Let's see if he can improve. I believe Oliver has put in a good time. 29.9 from SFR Oliver. GP3 driver.
That's a decent lap. I think that's a decent lap. I mean,
yeah, Oliver's in a different scenery of car as well. He's in the Mercedes. As he is normally in the Ferrari as well, so completely different change of colour.
He has driven the Mercedes last season, if I'm not wrong. So
yeah, and we have Senna also spinning.
And obviously we've got most of the guys who do their TT times on Mercedes. So
yeah.
I think Mercedes shouldn't be a strange environment for drivers.
No, and Nenji puts in a 29.6 as well. Yeah, a lot of people use the Mercedes in time trial, so they'll be rather familiar to it more than any other car. As Muffin is 2 seconds down on his first time, so I don't think he'll be going any faster on this lap. With an AlphaTauri coming across the line, I believe, which is his teammate of the Slayer. Oh, yeah, he's got a 2-minute first lap, so yeah, he's backed off on the straight. Let's have a look who's next. I believe Bossy Gaming is going to come across and start another flying lap as well. We have under 5 minutes remaining in this qualifying session here for SFR's Reserve Championship. And so we've
also got Cones, who's coming across the finish line now. And he gets a 28.2. He goes pole. Good lap from him.
It's a very good lap from Cones. 6 tenths. No, not 6 tenths, sorry. 4 tenths quicker than Achilles. Very good lap from the Haas driver. As Mauser comes across the line in P6 with the 29.3. Good lap as well. Who else have we got on our lap? J. Serge is starting one. Liverpool FC Pro. Believe is about to start a lap. On 2-lap-old soft. So, he's invalidated at first corner, or turn 2. Exactly as you said, Sonic Hawk. Turn 2 has caught him out.
Yeah, I think turn two. I mean, of course, the guys who are on wheels, I think they would have it easy. But those who are on pads, I think they need to back off slightly to get that extra time for the steering to rotate, because the steering doesn't rotate as quickly as it does on a wheel when you're on pad. So I think turn two is one corner on this track where I feel the guys who are on wheel will have a definitive advantage.
That's one thing you'll never catch me doing, is racing on a pad. I am so slow on a pad. It's wheel or nothing for me.
Oliver has left the session, let me invite him.
I believe Calvin, is he going to come across and set a time? Because he did set his first time on the softs. Don't be fooled by him saying on the mediums. He has set his first time initially on the softs, so if he's going to set a time on the mediums, he needs to go quicker than a 28.8. As I believe we'll see him pushing. So we're going to ride on board with Calvin here and see if he can improve with those medium tyres. Because if he can, starting in P5 on medium tyres would be a very good qualifying result for Calvin. So let's see what he can do on these mediums as he comes through the little S section here, the end of the first sector. Oliver's back, good to see. He is 3/10 down, so he needs to really push. It is possible. If he maybe messed up his first lap on the softs, or has he backed off now? Yeah, he's backed off. Yeah, I think he's just realised that he can't go any quicker. That would have been very impressive if he did go quicker, considering he's already set his first lap on those tyres.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing is that I think the tire delta is about 1.2 seconds around here. So I think realistically Calvin has got a pace around sub 28. So he really needs to push himself to his best for to get a good lap on those mediums.
Yeah, he's not going to have time to come in the pits. I doubt it and go again. There's 1 minute 50 left, so he needs to get back in the pits now, change tyres and get out in time.
If he goes for another run, I think those mediums they would end up being around 10 to 15% tire wear, which won't be good for the race start.
No, but he started already in the softs. Whether he thinks he can improve, but
I think he is going for another run.
Very impressive if he is. Unless he's just using this as a bit of race practice, which he could be doing.
Yeah, you never know.
Never know, could be using a bit of race practice. It'd be very impressive if he does go faster than his soft stint. In his soft time on mediums, especially mediums that are already 2 laps low, as Bossy Gaming has left the session.
Let me invite him.
Get him invited back in. So yeah, Calvin was 3/10 down last time he was in this first sector, and he's 2/10 down again, so I don't think he'll be improving. Let's have a look. Any other drivers? I think we got Achilles going to come and start his last lap as well. He'll be pushing for pole position, as we have a racing point as well. I believe that is Senna behind him. Liverpool FC Pros on 4 lap old soft tyres, but he's 6/10 up in the first sector in fairness. So we could see an improvement here from Liverpool FC Pro on 4 lap old soft tyres. Wow.
Yeah, I think he's got this. He's got. I mean, he even does it in the GP4 races when he does. He tends to go for multiple soft runs. So let's see if he actually improves.
Well, he may have just done quite a slow first lap because he's already 6/10 up, and considering these laps are already 4 laps old, maybe he didn't have enough time to come back in the pits and change his tyres, and he knew he could find more time, possibly. But let's see what time he can do. Oliver's younger brother, and I think he's made a mistake. He's racing the Mercedes back out of it. Oh, and he's impeded the Red Bull behind as well. That was a bit messy. I think, which Red Bull was it? It was Onyx.
So basically Oliver and Liverpool are brothers, so I think they were just messing around on the track, and I think the Red Bull behind got impeded.
So I think the only person that can snatch pole now is Achilles. In the Red Bull is coming across the line now. Let's see what time he can say. He needs to be a 28.2, 28.3. Close to the pole time, but not quite enough. He will start in P2 as he displaces MX Limitless from P3. Anybody else coming across the line?
We've got smoke on his. Who's on his... No, he goes into the pits. Who else is on lap?
Is Senna on?
Sarge.
No, Senna's done his lap.
Muffin.
Yeah, J Sarge, but he's invalidated his lap. I think
Scooter was on
that's it. Scooter's on five lap. I don't know whether this is a game glitch or he's actually on 5 lap old softs.
Yeah,
if he's actually on
sure,
5, that's very impressive. Because he says his 5/10 up though. In fairness.
Yeah. So let's see if he improves. Would he land into 31?
He's backed off.
Oh.
He's backed off. Well, I'm guessing he doesn't want to start on those tyres. Well, he's outside the top 10, so he'll get to choose anyway.
Yes.
I wonder why he backed off.
Yeah,
unless he thought he was going to get into the top 10 with his time.
Top 10, yeah. Yeah, but I think realistically he would have been somewhere around P13. So let's read out the top 10 here.
So we have Cones in P1, Achilles P2, Limitless 3, Smoke in 4, Calvin 5, Onyx 6, Sarge in 7th, Senna 8th, Moza in 9, and Martin rounding off the top 10. Let me read you about the rest of it. We have Janenji rounding up the grid in P11, Liverpool FC Pro, Esfar Oliver, Mr. Muffin, Bossy Gaming, Hooky the Welshman, Scooter the other Welshman, SFR Mansell, Micey Mate, the Slayer, and Serge rounds off the grid for our starting lineup here today. And one person to watch out for is going to be Senna Martin, starting on the medium compound tyre in P8. So, as Sonic Core said at the start, if the medium tyre is the tyre to be on round France, he could be on for a good result if he gets away cleanly on the first lap.
Sorry, my controller ran out of battery. I had to change it.
That's alright, no worries.
So it's looking cloudy, isn't it?
It is. Whether we're going to have an overcast race with some rain forecasted, we don't know as commentators. We cannot see the forecast. But it would definitely throw some strategy into the mix, that's for sure, if we had a race where it turns into rain. So let's get the lobby all loaded up, hopefully. Hopefully Codemasters fixes for the next F1 game, where the unranked lobbies are not as slow as they currently are.
Yeah, I think with EA taking over, there is some hope, but you never know.
As we start the formation lap here, it does look very overcast, doesn't it? Alright, there we go. So, first runner on the medium, as Elder said, is Senna, and then SFR Martin also on the medium tyre. And it looks like Janenji's the only driver outside the top 10 to actually select the soft tyre to start on, which is interesting. Everybody else has gone the mediums, apart from Mansell, who's gone the hards. Bossy Gaming's left, he'll need an invite, I think. But it'd be very interesting to see if Mansell is going to go for the one-stop. Actually, let's click on Mansell's driver. Let's see if it does come up with a predicted race strategy. I think Bossy Gaming needs another invite.
Okay, let me invite him. I'll invite him after lap 1, because usually when people join during this period, it tends to hang up the lobby, so I'll just invite him after the first lap.
Alright. So it's actually saying for Mansell, it's saying medium to hards, even though he's starting on the hard tyres. I reckon Mansell will be going for hard to soft, going for the one-stop strategy, as Cones is coming to the last corner now.
Yeah, I think for Mansell to go on from hard to soft, I think he would need help with some safety cars or VSCs, because I think the hards usually they're done around lap 15, 16. So it would be a huge call to do 11 laps on the soft.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be an interesting one to see how far these soft runners take their tyres and whether it will be the medium runners who will have the advantage. But let's find out here in France for the Reserves Championship, as we have some of the drivers at the rear end of the field bringing the pack together, as the cars are waiting and ready on the grid. Ready to get ourselves underway here at France. 5 red lights. And away we go. Good start from Cones, as Achilles also gets a good start as well. We're going to go down to the run into turn 1, as I believe Cones actually has a very good start compared to the drivers around him as he leads the field into turn 1. Ignore...
I see end plate flying off Alfa Romeo. Is it...
Is that J Sarge or is it Smoke? Smoke doesn't look like to have any damage. It may be his teammate J Sarge. It is J Sarge.
Yeah, it is J Sarge.
Front right end plate. It's a McLaren at the back of the field. Is that Liverpool FC Pro? It is, who also has end plate damage as well. So quite a few of the drivers at the back of the field having end plate damage, as now the leaderboard fixes itself.
Let me invite boss in the meantime.
Right, so as we look at the field currently, we have Cones in 1, Achilles 2, Limitless 3, Calvin 4, Sarge in 5, Smoke in 6. Jinenji is just overtaken Smoke. Actually, it's his next corner. Great move from Jinenji, as Senna Martins lost out a couple of places into turn 1. He was actually in P8 and he's now down into P10 on those medium tyres. We have closest battle on track here. We have it between Calvin and Limitless.
We've got Serge who tries to have a look on the inside on Oliver. And pushes him slightly wide there and he gets the move done. So Serge, that's a brilliant move to move up to P12.
We also have SFR Martin right on the back of Senna as well. Very, very close behind each other.
So I think for the next 4 laps, you would see the soft runners flying away and the medium runners playing catch up. I think from lap 4, we would see the transition wherein we will see the medium runners gaining on the soft runners.
I agree with you there, Sonic Hawk. I think it is going to be, as you see from the start, Senna starts on the mediums and he's struggling down into P10. Lost 2 positions on that first lap. As talking of Senna, he's actually trying to look for a way past Mauser into the next turn. It gets right down the inside. Rise a bit of the track limits there. No damage, so good defending from Mauser. Held his line. Let's see if Senna can maybe get him at the end of the straight, as he will get a bit of a tow from that Williams car. As we've Liverpool FC Pros in the pits and gone to the hard tyre. Can he take those hard 25 laps? I think it's possible. He can do it, that's for sure, but he would have a very lonely race until he gets back together with the field. As J Sarge overtakes his teammate back into P5. And Jinenji also gets past Smoke. As Jinenji and Smoke are actually going side by side into the next turn. Jinenji has the inside line.
Oh,
and
that was close.
He gets past Smoke. I think Smoke almost thought about the switchback. Is he going to go for the move down the inside? No. Good racing. As Jinenji goes a little bit wide into the next turn. Let's see if Smoke can make advantage of that. Doesn't look like he can. But if you look at the field, the gap between effectively the top 5 and the guys behind them is actually quite big now. Or the top 4 rather, Senna Martins. There's a 2-second gap as J Sarge is in the pits. Our first runner on the soft tyre into the pit stops already.
Yeah, I think it's the end plate that's affecting his pace.
Yep. Let's see what tyres he will end up on. As closest battle on track we have between Hooky and Senna Martins. As Senna goes a little bit wide, will that give Hooky the advantage into the next turn? They're side by side into the next right-hander.
Oh, that was close. That was
drifting
close.
and Senna's gone. And Senna's... Oh, it's a virtual. Wow. That's a car crash if I've seen one before.
To be honest, I think the crash was more because Senna was on no traction. So I think he revved the car too hard, because I think once the contact was made, the racing point kind of settled a bit. But I think as soon as he went on the throttle, he just lost his rear end.
Yeah, see, always the difficulty with racing without traction control. I myself race without traction control, and when you spin the car, you have to be so careful on the throttle to make sure you get it back into place. But unlucky for Senna Martins, he is now out of the session. As we have Onyx going past Smoke. Goes down the inside. Good move from Onyx. I don't think Smoke will be able to fight back. He's actually right behind him, to be fair. I say that. Commentator's curse. Will Smoke be able to go down the inside? Don't think he will. He's going to hold his position for now. As the gaps to everybody else is sort of stabilised in that safety car window. As we are currently spectating the closest battle on the track. I lie very much. As we have Scooter and Muffin.
Oh, and is that Smoke who lost his rear end? He's got no end plate at all. He's got no front wing on the right side.
Yeah, you can tell he's got no grip at all. He is struggling without a front wing. As Scooter, in all that action, Scooter's actually got past Muffin.
Smoke, please don't get into someone else's way.
As we have SFR Mansell has now made his way up the pack on those hard tyres. As he gets past Smoke with his damaged front wing. Smoke's going to have a very long lap back into the pit stops, that is for sure.
I think he's lost like, 8 or 10 positions there, and more, he's only half.
Yeah, as we have, sorry, Sonic Hawk, we have Slayer getting past Mansell quite easy on the straight, actually. Shows the tyre advantage that the mediums have over those hard tyres. That's one thing Mansell is going to struggle on, being on those hards. For the time being, he'll have a lot less grip than all the other drivers around. However, if he's going for that one stop, it will help him out.
Yeah, I think Mansell would go for the one stop, maybe hards to mediums, that's what I'm guessing. But yeah, I think till lap 5 or 7, you might see him struggling for grip and struggling for pace, but I think from then on he would really kick on.
I agree with you. I think once everyone else's tyres around him start wearing out, hit those hard tyres, be able to sustain a bit. And don't forget, on the end of the race, if he does go onto those soft tyres, he will be, without a doubt, the fastest driver on the circuit. I believe we have a Ferrari in the pit. No, not Ferrari, sorry, AlphaTauri with Smoke, as expected. I am going to guess a front wing change and possibly hard tyres to the end now. I think would be the wise bet for Smoke.
I'll keep a watch on him.
As we're going to skip now to Onyx and... Oh, sorry, SFR Martin. Who is right behind
Smoke goes
Onyx.
onto the mediums.
Medium tyres.
So
22 laps on the mediums.
No, I think he might be splitting the 11 laps each. So he might be doing a medium from here.
Yeah, I think that'd be worth it. Never know, a safety car might come out as we have Onyx and Jinenji next to each other. I'm actually going to skip down to the Slayer and Oliver as the Slayer gets another move down on the pit straight. So Slayer 2 laps in a row where he's made positions on that same straight. And they're going to go back up now to Onyx and Jinenji. Liverpool FC Pro gets a time penalty. Oh, Jinenji gets a little bit of a snuff of oversteer there as he rode the curb a little bit too much. And who is in the pit? We've got Cones. Is Cones in the pit? No, he's not. Achilles is in the pit, sorry. So one of our first of our leaders is in for his first round of pit stops. I would guess he'd be going medium to the end of the race. Unless he could be going hard tyres. He's gone for the hards. So Achilles is going to go for the one stop. Yellow flag in sectors 2 and 3. I believe it's a McLaren of Liverpool FC Pro. You now ride on board with Serge as he's actually now right behind Onyx. So with this battling in front, with Jinenji, Martin, Onyx, Serge is caught up to the back of these guys.
Yeah, I think Martin has a tire advantage over here because Jinenji is going to come into the pits in the next 1 or 2 laps. So Martin would definitely get that position back. It would be interesting to see which tire Jinenji gets on to get back on Martin.
Yeah, Jinenji's light is flashing in the back. He has no ERS left. As Martin gets down the inside. Good move from SFR Martin there, moves him up into P4. And as you said, Sonic Hawk, I think now is the time. We have a Ferrari spinning in the back. Is it Hooky? It's Hooky. Hooky, 10-second time penalty. Wow.
I think he. Oh, and he's lost his right wing completely. I mean, there's no grip at all on that Ferrari right now.
I've never ever seen a 10-second time penalty being given out in this game.
I mean, you get it when you completely cut a corner, totally cut a corner.
So whether he had to cut the corner because of his damage, we don't know. But we may have to review it in the stewards if it gets put forward to the stewards. And he gets another 10... Oh no, Hooky. Another 10-second time penalty. The worst thing is
I would be surprised if it continues.
This might actually be served in his pit stop as well. So this could affect Hooky quite badly here. We have Onyx into the pits. Also going to the hard sides. It looks like the one stop could be the way here. Are his team going to service his car? Yes, they are. At least he doesn't have to sit in the pits for 20 seconds, which could have happened. May as well have gone and made himself a cup of tea if that was the case. As we have Serge right behind Jinenji. Let's see if one of these two can make the move. So it does look like so far the one stop is going to be the way, but depends how quick these medium runners that have started on the mediums are going to be. As Serge goes to remove on the inside, Jinenji on the straight. Oh, I cut across his front wing a little bit there, but he gets the move done nonetheless. No contact made, so all good. Good move from Serge. As Jinenji's actually lost a little bit of time now. Serge, oh, as Slayer's trying to go down the inside, Jinenji. And that's what you said, Sonic Hawk. Pardon me, those soft tyres are now starting to lose their grip.
Yeah, I think the softs are done. I think Jinenji would save himself a lot of time if he doesn't fight the softs and instead come inside and come into the pits for a change. No, but he's continuing for another lap.
As we have Limitless in for his stop, as he's going to go onto the hard tyre as well. So our race leader at the start of the race is Cones, who has actually not pitted yet. So it'll be interesting to see if Achilles can actually get the undercut, because Achilles is actually in quite a lot of clean air, I believe. So he could set some consistent time to try and gain back those spots. I'm going to ride on board with the Slayer and Jinenji as they are still fighting over 4th and 5th position.
And Mansell has a contact, but luckily no damage there.
Good spot, Sonic Hawk. We have Mansell who started on the hard tyre. As Limitless gets a 3-second time penalty. So I reckon give it another 3 or 4 laps and Mansell's tyres will start coming into play here. Because the guys who started on the medium tyre will now start to struggle a little bit in the next couple of laps. As those soft tyres of Jinenji are definitely struggling, being out-gripped by the hard tyres. As Mansell's move on Jinenji there looks pretty straightforward. As Mansell is now up into P5, starting on the hards.
Now the battle between Mansell and Slayer should be interesting.
It will be. Let's see if Mansell can actually catch up to the Slayer.
He will have the DRS advantage in the next couple of corners.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see which laps these medium tyres which the Slayer started on. Did he start on these tyres?
Yeah, I think Slayer no, I think it's showing 7 laps, so I think he came into... Yeah, I think he lost his right end plate, if you remember. So he came into the pits around lap 2. So...
yeah, because the guys that started on are now on... I don't know if it's a glitch, because a lot of these drivers that started on the mediums, like Martin and Serge, it also 8 laps old tyres. So, I believe all those guys actually did start on medium tyre.
Yeah, but oh wait, I think it was J Sarge. So yeah, I got confused between Slayer and J Sarge.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the Slayer started on the mediums. You're right.
We go back down to Limitless, who's right behind Achilles. This is a battle effectively for possibly second place or the lead, depending on where Cones is going to come out after his stops, as Achilles goes right defensive down the inside and doesn't even defend against Limitless. Whether he's trying to save his tyres, he didn't make a defensive manoeuvre, so... oh, it gets right behind his rear wing. Bossy Gaming is having a bit of a nightmare with his internet connection here today. As I think he's been disconnected again, as we have Mansell on the back of the Slayer. Let's see what other battle we've got. We've actually got J-Sarge and Onyx as well. Let's see if J-Sarge can close in. As Onyx is on 2 lap on hard tyres. As Cones is in the pits. Our effective leader is going onto the hard tyres. As SFR Mansell come out ahead of Limitless and Achilles. I don't think he will. No, he hasn't. He's lost time. He lost a huge amount of time in the pits. So the undercut paying dividends here in the Grand Prix. SFR Martin is now your race leader. As Mansell is all over the back of the sleigh now. Is this the turning point where the mediums start becoming a little bit worn compared to Mansell, who started on those hard tyres? I believe Mansell will be doing at least another 10 laps on these hards still before he will pit for the soft tyre. As he makes an easy move down the inside. As SFR Mansell is now up into 3rd place.
Yeah, I think the mediums are towards the final end of their life. So I think we might see another 2 or 3 laps from the medium runners before they switch onto the hard.
Yeah, it looks like these medium tyres are going to be lasting about 12 or 13 laps around this circuit.
Yeah.
Which is about half the race distance. So you can't go soft medium. I don't think that's an option here in France. So it'd be interesting to see what tyres these guys go on. Most likely going to go on to the hard to the end if they started on the medium tyre. So maybe the strategy is to start on the softs and go soft hard. We will see at the end of the race.
Yeah, we'll see which strategy pays.
All of my interval gaps are gone. I don't know why that is. They should be coming back in a second.
Yeah, even the gaps are gone on my screen as well.
Oh yeah, the thing is waiting for the drivers to cross the line before they come back on. There we go. Let's have a look at the closest battle we have on track. We have the Slayer still on the back of Martin, Mansell a little bit. Trying to keep up with him. So it looks like those medium tyres aren't gone yet. We have a yellow flag in sector 3. I believe it's an Alpha Tauri that has spun round. As it is Mr. Muffin. Has he just spun or has he just made a mistake? Oh, his tyres are definitely... Wow! Yet now the front wing's gone. When your tyres are that hot, you can't...
He is going to have a painful lap.
He is. The worst thing is, if that pit entrance was the same as it was a couple of years ago, he could have gone into the pits there, because the pit entrance in France used to be on the pit straight.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for him, it is no longer on the pit straight, so he's got a very long lap back to the pits now. As we have Serge and Martin battle for the lead here. Both are on the same strategy as well. I would imagine these guys will be coming in the next few laps. In saying that, Martin is in the pits. So I believe he'll be going onto the hard tyre till the end.
Yeah, definitely. I think he needs to go on the hard. There's nothing else. Unless he's going on medium soft. Yeah, so he is going on the hard.
Yeah, to mean he'd have to do 15 laps on the soft tyre, which I think they would explode if he tried doing that. Yeah, definitely going to the hard tyres. We actually have a battle between Smoke and Jinenji going on. As Smoke has a little bit of a lock-up, Jinenji gets a 3-second time penalty. I will show you guys all the penalties in a second as Smoke goes down the inside of Jinenji on the pit straight. And he is well ahead before turn 1, so good move from Smoke. She moves him up a few more positions as well. We've got a hooky on the back of this battle now as well. I'm now going to show you guys the penalties so far. I'll read them out to you. So we have 3 seconds for the Slayer, 3 seconds for Limitless, 3 for Smoke, 3 for Jinenji, 20 seconds for Hooky, which may get reversed in the Stewards. We don't know whether he got those corner cut-ins due to his damage. We'll have to investigate that. We've got Malzer on 3 seconds, Liverpool FC Pro on 6, Bossy Gaming on 3, and Muffin on 3, and they are your time penalties so far in this race. As we are going to ride on board with SFR Martin. Why I said Martin? No, Calvin Racing, sorry. Don't know why I said Martin, he's out the race. I'm going to ride on board with Calvin, sorry. He's getting a bit close to Limitless. We have a yellow flag in sector 3, and Mr. Muffin has retired in the pit lane. Oh no. I think after that damage, I think he's gone, yep. Too much of a lonely race.
Yeah, but I think he wasn't aware that the full-time drivers don't get points. So He could have still continued racing and come into the points.
Oh, what has happened to Hooky? Hooky has left the session. Is that connection issues? It looks like he doesn't have much of a front wing. No, he does have a full front wing.
Yeah, he has a full front wing.
So it's probably just connection issues for Hooky. We can get him back into the session. And Bossy Gaming again has left the session. Talking of which, moving on swiftly, we have Mansell on the back of Serge. Will he get him down the next straight? Let's have a look. As Serge moves to inside, tries to be defensive. Looks like those medium tyres have now hit their peak, as it were. And Mansell is now probably going to have the grippiest tyres on the circuit at the moment. Apart from all the other hard runners behind him. So if Mansell can pull out a bit of a gap, if I do the interval to the leader, Mansell will come out around about P7, P8. And starting P18, starting on the hards, could be something that everybody may possibly be starting to do for the championships races this week. And we have Limitless on the back of Calvin.
Yeah, I think it's also important to remember that Mansell is GP2, so I think there are a good number of drivers who are GP3, GP4 here, so you really need to have that pace to really come on top by around lap 12, 13 on those hards.
Yeah, you do need the pace to make those hard tyres work, that's for sure. As we have the Slayer into the pits, I would guess he'd be going on to the hard tyres. Yep, he's left a little bit late, but he's going to go on to the hard tyres nonetheless. So actually, looking for the battle for the lead, technically, the only person who doesn't have to stop yet still is Limitless. He's made his last stop, so he is actually in the effective lead of this race. So here's your effective race leader at the moment, who is stuck behind Calvin. And if we've got any other closer battles on circuit right now, I don't believe we do. So this battle here between Limitless, Achilles and Cones, our race leaders, all three of them are side by side, all on the same strategy. So this is your battle for the lead here in the Reserve Championship.
Yeah, but I think Cones, with the pressure hards, I think he's going to be the threat for the lead. And he already makes a move on Achilles over here.
Achilles goes defensive down the inside. Cones looks for the switchback, doesn't quite manage it. Let's see what happens in this next section. As ahead of them, Limitless is possibly looking for a move on Calvin, but he doesn't pull it off. Let's keep on board with Cones here in the Haas. All these four drivers all very close together. We've got yellow flag in sector 2. Green again. I don't know why that was. Let's carry on board with these guys.
I think Serge should be coming into the pits. Yeah, indeed does.
Yeah, so Serge and Mansell's in the pits. Mansell's in the pits. Interesting. No, will he go 13 laps on the soft? I doubt it. It'll be medium, surely.
I think he can.
Yep.
I think since Serge has done 13 laps on the mediums, I think it should be easier for Mansell, considering that he'll be doing them on his final stint on the lighter car.
Yeah, very, very true. And I think the issue with wanting to go on the soft tyres, he would have had to do probably another 5 laps on those hards, and he would have actually been losing more time than he would gain probably being on those other tyres.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, Mansell gets a time penalty. That could affect him towards the end of the race, but he's in P6 on fresh soft or fresh medium tyres. So if he's able to catch up to these guys whilst these guys are fighting, he could be a contender for the victory today. As we ride on board with this battle.
So he's got 15 seconds to cover to Calvin, but again I think Calvin would be pitting any time in the next 4-5 laps. So effectively, if he calculates his gap to Limitless, it's still around 14 seconds that he needs to cover in the next 12 laps.
Yeah, so if I was Mansell right now, I'd be pushing as hard as he can whilst this battle is still going on, because Limitless does not have clean air yet. He is still stuck behind Calvin, so he really needs to start pushing now if he is to gain inroads on these drivers ahead. Let's see if we have another close battle on the circuit. We have Liverpool FC Pro and Scooter. Liverpool FC Pro goes down for a move on the inside of Scooter. Down the long straight. Gets the move done. Good move there from Liverpool FC Pro. And he keeps it nice and tight and tidy. I believe he's going to be going to the end on these tyres. As he had a bit of incident in the first couple of laps. He could go to the end. It is possible. But obviously pitting would give him some nice fresh tyres. So we will see what the intervals are. We'll see what happens, but we don't have the intervals again. The game has taken them out for me. Sorry, everyone. But we're going to skip up to the battle up front with our effective race leaders now, as they have had the same gaps. They're effectively stuck in a DRS train at the moment. We'll see if anyone's going to look for a move down the inside. As Martin picks up another time penalty, so it doesn't look like any of these drivers are looking to wanting to make a move just yet. They're being very patient with each other, which is very good. It is good to see them being patient, picking the right move to make. And we have Mansell now on the back of SFR Martin. To the gap to leader. Yeah, all my intervals are completely gone. I will tell you the gaps to the leader in a second, guys, when the intervals do come back on screen. I'm going to skip up to the battle ahead.
Mansell currently 3 tenths behind Martin over here. He might get the move done on the next start finish straight.
As Limitless locks up into the last corner, sorry, as he goes down the pin straight now.
And we see Mansell overtaking Martin over here on the inside. Easily done.
Easy move. Mansell also puts the fastest lap of the race in as well.
So now that Mansell has cleared Martin, he's got free air and he's going to charge on from here.
Yeah, so his gap to the leader was 14 seconds. It's now down to 11 seconds. So, whilst these guys are fighting, watch out for Mansell. As we have the battles up ahead now. And they have a Limitless going for a move down the inside of Calvin. I'm very surprised Calvin hasn't pit yet, but he's gone down the inside. And Calvin could actually go on the softs for his last stint here if he wants to. As Onyx has retired in the pit lane. Unfortunately.
See, I think Calvin on the softs towards the end should be interesting, as well as Mansell. We would see Mansell coming into the action in the next 5 laps, maybe 5 to 6 laps.
Yeah, I would say so. Because what strategy has Calvin done? He started on the... he's going soft, so he's going soft, medium, soft.
Medium, soft. Yeah, that's right.
And it's been a clean strategy so far. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out against the one stop of the hard to mediums that Mansell's done. So it'll be interesting to see what the gap is between those two. And Calvin, as a GP3 driver who has done a few GP2 races, quite quick himself. And him and Mansell are similar-ish for pace. I would say minus a couple of tenths per lap, so it'll be interesting to see what the strategies are like. But Achilles now needs to try to look to move past... he does need to look to move past Calvin here if he wants to put up a fight to Limitless, because Limitless is now in clean air. And if he can break that DRS, he could be away here. And the gap to the leader, Mansell's still got 11 seconds, so he does need to start pushing a little bit now. Didn't gain anything on that previous lap.
I'll be just back.
As Malta gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And we're going to skip now to the Slayer, who is on the back of Serge. Will he go for a move down to the end of this long straight? Let's see if he does. Looks down to the left. Not going to go for a move too far back. Let's go back up to our battle up front. No, we're going to stay on the battle, but actually with the Slayer and the Surge. Close battle on track. Let's see if any moves are made in the next few turns. As we have 16 runners left in this race so far, with Onyx, Bossy Gaming, Mr. Muffin and Senna Martins all retiring from the session so far. And we have Cones getting towards the back of Achilles now, as Limitless has actually now broken the DRS from Calvin. So Limitless is in first place. He does not have to stop again. And he's already broken the DRS from Calvin. Unless Calvin can really push now, he needs to get that DRS on this next straight. Otherwise, Limitless is just going to pull away. All these drivers will be pushing as hard as they can. I don't think he's got it. I don't think Calvin's got it as he comes across the DRS. No, he does not. Limitless has now broken that DRS. from the driver behind him. I'm going to ride on board with Cones as he is closest to Achilles right now. As we see the gap to leader, Mansell has got it down now to about 10 seconds. 10 to 11 seconds, so SFL Mansell needs to push a little bit harder now, try and gain on these leaders. Scooter receives a 3-second time penalty from multiple warnings. Please excuse that voice break I just had. As we're going to continue on, we have the Slayer again on the back of Serge. Will we see a move down through the next couple of corners? As the Slayer is getting a little bit closer now on the back of Serge. Let's see what he can do into the next couple of braking zones. As the tyres between these two are on very, very similar tyres. As Calvin is finally coming to the pits. Calvin is in the pits and he is on the soft tyres. Sonic Hawk is back as Calvin has just gone into the pits to put on the fresh set of soft tyres. So this actually moves these drivers. If we look at the interval to leader. So we have Limitless in P1 with a 2-second gap now to Achilles. He's really opened that gap up being outside the DRS zone. Then we have Achilles and Cones in P2 and 3. And then we have Mansell in P4. So Mansell started in P18, I believe. Or P16. He started quite far down the field and is up into P4 with that strategy. As we have actually Achilles as Cones tries to go down the inside of Achilles. Whilst I'm talking, he doesn't make the move stick. Achilles fights it off as he goes down the outside. Will we see the move done here? And we do. Cones gets past Achilles. Good move from Cones. As he now needs to chase down Limitless in that Williams car.
Cones has the tire advantage over here. And it's surprising that I expected the gap to Mansell being much lower. I think at one point he brought it down to around 9 seconds if I'm not wrong. But yeah, I think the gap has now again increased to close to 10.5, 11 seconds. So I think the pace advantage on the mediums is now done. I think it's now at par with the hard runners.
Yeah, I will agree with you here. I think the medium's got, I reckon, a couple more laps left of a little bit faster possibly. But that's it. Mansell, I think he just needs to push a little bit more. These guys aren't fighting anymore, so I think his chance to catch these guys are possibly gone as the gap. Limitless is just actually pulling that gap away. Nearly 3 seconds now to Cones. So he's really pulling that gap away now.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point you just made, that the fact that the top three were fighting actually gave a chance to Mansell to close the gap, but now the gaps have improved. I think that's where I think we are seeing all three drivers doing their own pace and improving their overall races.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys now are just kind of settling down and keeping the times consistent. I mean, either way, it's a very good result from these guys at the front. And that's some very good racing stages. The gaps have increased to what they were. I think the undercut is something that we can take away from this reserve race into the next week's races. Undercut has been very effective. All the drivers who have gone a couple of laps over their predicted stop time have actually lost out the most. So it'd be interesting to see which drivers next week can use the undercut to their advantage.
I think I would definitely agree with you on that.
We have Mauser and Liverpool FC Pro pretty close together.
I've got Achilles coming into the pits.
Gone into the pits.
Interesting. So he would go on the soft, but can he cover the delta?
He's gone to the mediums. He may not have any soft tyres left. Why? That is very interesting. Why is he coming to the pits?
Or he's got a D-pad malfunction. You never know.
Maybe. Not too sure what has happened there. As Calvin actually sets fastest lap of the race. He takes that away from Mansell. So the driver to actually watch out for now, for the time being, is actually Calvin. On those very fresh soft tyres.
He's chasing Serge about 2 tenths behind now.
You can just see the grip level he has over these guys in those hards. It looks like he's actually having to lift off.
Yeah, could he get a double overtake done on both Serge and Slayer down this track?
That'll be very impressive as Serge goes defensive, tries to break the slipstream.
he needs to cut to the inside now. He's getting squeezed. He's getting pushed off the track. Oh, brilliant defending from Serge. Bit questionable, but yeah.
Yeah, good defending from
Luckily,
Serge.
no
He goes a bit
contact there.
wide on the exit. As will we see Calvin getting moved down the inside? Will he keep it stick? He's going to hold it. The grip level he has. Little bit of contact there.
He's
Luckily,
going to break it and get the move done. Oh, Serge moves past. And he moves past Calvin. So Serge may be taking another lap to get Serge over here. Sorry, Calvin taking another lap to get past Serge over here.
yeah, he needs to do it now though, because otherwise those soft tyres are going to start to come out of their operating windows soon. And they will lose their grip very quickly. The issue with the soft tyres, they're very good for the first couple of laps, but they will lose their grip quite quickly. So he needs to get that move done now if he wants to possibly catch up to Martin by the end of the race. As we actually have Serge going past Slayer.
Track. And Calvin has damage. You see his right hand plate going off, flying away.
Oh no. So after Calvin being on the fast tyre, he was just a bystander in that really, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was totally not Calvin's
goes for
fault.
a
Now he
move.
tries to...
Now there's contact. Oh, I think Calvin got a little bit frustrated there.
Yeah, I think he's totally pissed and I can totally relate to him.
Yeah, I think he's had enough. He's going very slowly now. I feel bad for him. May go down to the stewards, but good defending from Serge. But the move into turn one will probably be questionable.
Yeah, I think it's slightly questionable, but yeah, I will leave it to the stewards.
Leave it to the stewards to decide what the gaps are, or what happens rather, not what the gaps are. Don't know why I said the gaps. We look at the intervals round. We have the two Alfa Romeos quite close together in Smoke and J Sarge. They've been very tight all race. However, Smoke is on very fresh soft tyres as well. Achilles is actually up into P6 after being dropped down to P8 on those mediums. Again, I'm not quite sure why he came in and pitted, but he's actually given a podium spot to Mansell.
Yeah, I think Calvin was in a good position to get the P5, P4, but yeah, now that he's come into the pits, it's up to. I don't think there will be any more position changes at this point of time of the race. The gaps are pretty spread out, at least 3 seconds between all of them. So I think this might be the final finish that we will see, at least the top 3.
I do agree with you there, Sonic Hawk. The gaps are quite big now, so we're interested to see if anyone can close the gaps in. So the gap, the good thing here is, well, the not good thing here, I'm just going to give a bit of a compliment here to Limitless, who, after he got past Calvin, he really did push as hard as he can, whilst Combs was stuck behind him. So Calvin was caused a little bit of trouble there between these top runners, but in fairness to him, he doesn't have to move out of the way, so well done to Limitless for getting that gap ahead. As we have Achilles is now on the back of Serge. Goes for the move around the outside into turn 1. Will Serge defend? He can't. No grip left in his tyres, so Achilles is now up into P5. He has a 3-second time penalty though. I will show everybody the penalties now on screen. Here we are. You have 3 seconds for Limitless. Actually, this is one thing to look out for. Limitless has a 3-second time penalty. Cones does not. If Cones can get that gap down to 3 seconds, he will win this race.
He's on 2-lap pressure hards as well, so I think he just needs to push a little harder to get that gap down, because obviously he has a tire advantage.
Yeah. He's got to keep it consistent but quick. He can't afford to make a mistake here.
But yeah, I think Limitless has shifted into a separate gear. I mean, he has gone into higher gear altogether once he has found free air in front.
I'll agree with you there. I mean, he joined GP2 a few races ago, and he's really shown how quick he can be, and he's gone straight into the top end of when he entered the league. So far from Limitless, he's raced very well, very cleanly, which is what we like to see here in SFR. We like to see clean and fast racing here in our leagues. As Cones actually has 2/10. It was down to 3.1. He needs to push a little bit here. We are going to be keeping an eye on that gap between those two. That will decide who is going to win this race today. As Achilles possibly may get Martin by the end of the race. Actually, no, I doubt he will. There's only 2 laps left. What am I on about? I'll be very impressed if he catches Martin.
He's got about 6 seconds.
Yeah. Do we have any other close battles? I don't think we do. As Sonic Court said, the gaps have stabilised now.
Yeah, I think the only closest battle is Serge and Achilles, but Achilles is on pressure medium, so he's going to definitely pull away.
Yeah, so we've got to really keep an eye now on the battle between Limitless and Cones. Not physically racing against each other, but if Cones can get that gap, as I've said, under 3 seconds, then he will take the race win. But also, these guys need to make sure they don't get time penalties. If Limitless gets another time penalty right now, he would hand the win to Cones. However, on the flip side, if Cones gets a time penalty, he will definitely not take that race win home. So let's see what these guys can do as Limitless is about to start his final lap here in France. Gap now is 3.5 seconds, so Cones needs to gain half a second on this lap over Limitless to take this win.
I think 19 laps on those hards is a commendable job, because you get the tire indicator somewhere around lap 15-16 for the hard, and you doing 19 laps on those hards is definitely commendable.
Yeah, doing that long stint on those hard tyres is one thing we've seen in a few races before. I don't think the one stop's been that effective in previous races, but it appears that France has been quite effective, and Limitless has been able to preserve his tyres and made them last 19 laps, because he did have the initial undercut on the drivers around him. As the Slayer picks up another 3-second time penalty. As the gap is now 3.4, 3.6. I think Limitless is going to do it. 6/10 is needed from Cones in this final sector. Limitless cannot make a mistake. We're going to ride on board with our leader for the last sector as Calvin puts in the fast lap of the race. Gap is now 3.7, 3.8. No mistake from Limitless, and he will be your race winner here in the Reserve Championship. As he comes across the final corner now. And Limitless will take the win here in the Reserve Championship. Limitless P1. Cones comes across the line. He will finish 7/10 behind in the end. SFR Mansell, who has done the one-stop strategy here, will take a podium finish. Good result from Mansell. And next up we have the Ferrari of Martin Achilles, who was on for the podium but decided to come in pit for the medium tyres. It'll be interesting to see why he did that in the end. Whether he had damage we didn't know about or what. It looks like Serge has actually run out of fuel across the line. But he is across the line nonetheless. Is Sonic Hawk, is Limitless actually still a driver in the Reserve Championship? No, he's a full-time driver.
No, he's a full-time driver in GP2.
So this win will not count towards Limitless in the standings as he is no longer a driver, but let's have a look at the driver standings now to see who will benefit from this result. Let's have a look. So actually, Achilles is actually the #1 finisher for the Reserve Championship.
Oh,
and then Cones. Oh no, I lied. Sorry, Cones. Cones actually is the first one. I lied. I can't read. Very sorry. But no, Cones will take the result, as Cones will actually take the 25 points. Achilles will take 18 points. So, good result from Cones in the end. But overall, a very good race in France. As we will get the top 3 into the party. Sonic Hawk, if you could add the top 3 into the party for interviews, that would be lovely.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So I'm going to read out your finishing result here from everyone. We have Limitless in P1, Cones P2, Mansell P3, Martin 4, Achilles 5, Serge 6, Slayer 7, Smoke 8, J Sarge 9, and Oliver rounds out your top 10. We then have Calvin in 11, Jinenji in 12, Scooter 13, Mauser 14, Liverpool FC Pro P15, and Hooky rounds up our last of the technical finishers. We have Oxy, who is our first DNF, Bossy Gaming, Mr. Muffin and Senna Martins. Very good race here in France. And we are now going to go to the interviews for the top 3.
Yeah, so I've invited Mansell and Limitless. Who was the other guy?
It was Limitless, Cones and Mansell.
Cones.
But very interesting race here in France. A lot of overtakes to be done, but also strategy does come into play. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in SFR for the next weeks of racing. As we have GP4 kicking off on Monday for us all. And as we have Mansell, my own teammate. Hello, sir.
Hello there.
As hopefully we'll get Limitless in as well. And Cones.
Yeah, so I've sent invites to all of them. I think you can start with Mansell.
As here it is, our race winner, Limitless.
Yo, what's up?
It was only yesterday he interviewed you, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
You're back?
yeah, I'm back, yeah.
Back for another interview.
Yeah. I don't mind, to be honest, so.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. GG.
So yeah, let's start with Mansell over here. So Mansell, starting on the hards, I think you were almost, I don't know, P15, 16 when you started?
I started P18, yeah.
Yeah, P18. So yeah, what was the mindset and just walk us through your race?
Well, it was a bit of a practice session for me, so I literally just wanted to start at the back of the grid in qualifying and just see what I could do from the back of the grid, really. I was aiming for a one-stop to see what a one-stop could do, because I didn't know if soft hard would work, but obviously I knew that now because Limitless did it, so now I know what you can do with strategy-wise. Race-wise, it was literally just overtaking people, yeah.
Well, it seemed like
I was overtaking people.
Alright, so when you actually came out of the pits, I think you were around 14 seconds behind the leader, and you actually brought down the gap pretty quickly to around 10 seconds in the next 2 or 3 laps. But yeah, after that, the gap really didn't close down. So what really happened? Did you have an issue with the car setup, or what really happened?
Yeah, the medium tyres, they were going off towards the end, so obviously the hards can last longer, so I think it was getting to the crossover point between the medium hards, and I think about after lap 23 or something like that, I just backed off, tried to look after the tyres and just go to the end, because I think the mediums lasted up to about, I think they got up to about 64% at the end, so I just tried to look after the tyres and go to the end, because I knew I wouldn't be able to catch the top 2 ahead of me, so I just dropped to the end.
Alright, Maurice, do you have any questions for Mansell over here?
Not really. Apart from it was a good race from you, sir. and it'll be interesting to see what we can do as teammates in GP2 strategy-wise.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll be talking to you throughout the week on strategy as I've seen what you have done today.
Yeah.
Especially after Canada, I might be even stealing your strategy. But well done today. P18 to P3, good result from you. At one point, I thought you were going to get fastest lap, actually.
Yeah, I was aiming for fastest lap, but
Snatched away by the soft runners at the end.
Yeah, I saw Calvin come into the pits again, so I was like, yeah, he's going for fastest lap, so there's no chance I'm going to get the fastest lap.
No. Anyway, well done, Mansell, and we will see you in GP2 later on in the week.
Cheers, man.
Do we have cones in the party, or are we going to go to Limitless?
I think we can go to Limitless.
Okay, we'll go to Limitless. Limitless, race winner.
Yo.
Talk us through the race.
Well,
and what made you choose the one stop?
Yeah, well, as Mental said, I think Friday is always a good practice session for the Wednesday races at GP2, so that's pretty cool. And well, I thought to myself, you know, just try something out. I thought, I think Cone, whatever he's called, like the second guy, went like at lap 9 or something to pit, and I thought like lap 7 would be good because my soft tires were at like 67% or something. So I thought, yeah, just try it. I don't know. Maybe I make it. Maybe I don't make it to the end. So
yeah, it was something that me and Sonic Hawk pointed out that the undercut was actually very powerful around France today.
Yeah.
As you came in, you guys were all like 5/10 apart going into those pit stops, and you ended up after the pit stop phase just from the undercut you had. You ended up being 2 seconds ahead. So like the undercut worked for you.
I think Achilles like went at lap 5 or something, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he went very early on those tires, and you had to make a move.
Yeah.
You had to make a move past him. So the undercut, no matter what at the moment, I think works because those soft tires do run out quite quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
But talk us through your race. How are you finding the track limits around France going into next week?
Yeah, well, I think it's actually not that bad. It's just, once you are in your rhythm and you know you just go with the flow. But at the beginning it was a bit messy, and I made 1-2 mistakes and then got warnings. So yeah, trying to avoid that on Wednesday.
Yeah, well, in the end, very good race from you.
Thanks. Just wanted to say, in the end, it was definitely not easy because I thought like Cones was pushing pretty much, and it was not easy, but good race.
Because Cones didn't have a penalty, so we actually thought if Cones pushed a couple more tenths, he could have actually taken the race win away from you.
Yeah, yeah. So that was definitely not that easy. But
no, good racing again from you, sir, and we'll see you on Wednesday for the race in GP2. Sonic Hawk, any questions for Limitless?
Yeah, no, I think you've covered all the ground.
Anyway, thank you, Limitless, and we will see you on GP2 on Wednesday. And we're going to go to our final driver, which is Cones. Talk us through your race. How did you find racing at France? Yeah, I think the undercut, something that we all pointed out, was something that was very strong. You tried the overcut, which in the end don't think quite worked out for you because your tyres may have been a little bit too worn. But it was worth a shot in fairness.
Thanks.
Yeah, in the end, I think it was down to the strategy, but you guys were fighting very close at the start of the race, all within 5 tenths. Take us through that battle. What were you thinking in your head? Were you thinking about maybe going for a move down the inside of the long straight, or were you just looking to be patient? Yeah, well, it was a good result in the end, and because Limitless is actually in GP2 full time now, he is not a member of the Reserve Championship in the standings, as he's now a full time driver in GP2. So you will actually be taking the 25 points home because you are a driver in the Reserve Championship. So you will be taking all the 25 points, but yeah, it was Calvin. It was Calvin, I think. Absolutely flew. He gained like 2 seconds.
Thanks.
Yeah, good race in the end. Sonic Hall, got any questions for Cones?
No, mate. It's all good. Congrats on the second position, Cons.
But that is going to round it all up here in SFR for the Reserve Grand Prix action. We will be back on Monday in GP4 for some more action around France. So please stay tuned, give your notification bell on so you don't miss out any of the live streams here in SFR in Speed Force Racing. Next week we're going to be hitting France, all 4 of the races, including after this one today. So stay tuned and meet us next time. We're going to see you on Monday for GP4. Sonic Hawk, anything to say for the end of the stream?
Yeah, I think I would just like to thank the viewers for joining us in the stream and interacting with us tonight. And I'm really looking forward to their support for the next coming weeks and coming seasons.
Absolutely, and stay tuned into SFR because we have some exciting action coming up and some possible upgrades. Not going to put out any spoilers, but we have some possible upgrades to SFR coming up in the next few weeks. But thank you very much everyone for tuning into the stream, and we will be seeing you on Monday in GP4. But until then, thank you very much for tuning into the stream, and we will see you on Monday.